Good afternoon. Today I'm back outside, and today I want to try for you guys Gentleman Jack. It's a Jack Daniel's product, double mellowed Tennessee whiskey. This is 40% alcohol by volume. This is a 200 ml bottle. I bought the bigger bottles in the past. I paid $8.50 for this one. I've only bought it once before in the past. And it does have that typical Jack Daniel's product. So, I've got my notes from my Jack Daniel's, which I didn't go, the original, which I didn't go back to, and I'm not going to until the end of this video. We'll do a quick little look-see to see what maybe has changed from the original to this. This is, let's say, a medium to dark copper amber color. Thought I saw some charcoal in it for a second, but I guess I didn't. And it is typical Jack Daniel's. They don't have an age statement. I have no idea how old it is. We'll hear the highway and maybe some of the cicadas. They're not completely done this summer yet. This is a very viscous, a very side clinging alcohol. I mean, it sticks to the sides, slow legs, the whole 9 yards. A nose. The nose. Nose is sweet vanilla. Sweet vanilla. You get a little of the charcoal, little red apples, a balance of nutmeg and allspice. Almost a little acetone, maybe a little sawdust in there, like oak sawdust. I used to, during the summers, when I first got out of the Army, when I was going to college, first started college, I'd work at a door manufacturing plant in sawed. I did saw some wood, but when I wasn't working on the saws, doing the rip sawing, they'd have me over sanding doors and doing final prep, and you get a lot of that. So a lot of the familiar oak smells I get, a lot of the familiar wood smells I get is from based on those memories there. Did it for years. My dad was the plant superintendent, so I worked there for several years. That's about it. I don't really get a whole lot more to it. Maybe a hint of banana hiding in there a little bit. A little bit of overripe banana. Now on the palate, we definitely get the vanilla, and the banana starts to shine. Still get a touch of that charcoal. You ain't gonna avoid that with Jack Daniel's. The nutmeg backs off. It gets more of an allspice flavor to it. The nutmeg's dialed down in the palate. The allspice is elevated. Still sweet, still sugary sweet. And I'll be honest, I like the flavor profile of this. I really do. But with that and the banana, that's mainly what you're getting. A little cherry wood sawdust with this. I mean, the sawdust changes. You still get that sort of sawdust flavor in the background, but it's less oak and more cherry wood. And the cherry wood, it's just a much sweeter thing, because when you're sanding all day, you inevitably get sawdust in your mouth. You get a good flavor for all of it. But the cherry, this one's odd in that aspect. I probably get more sawdust on this than I've ever had on any of the other bourbons I've ever had. But on the Gentleman Jack, I really get it. The thing that surprises me, that cherry sawdust is in the finish too, along with the banana. I think the thing that surprises me about it is for as thick as the legs are, the finish is not there. It's got a medium finish, but you would think with those legs that would be the kind of finish that just hangs with you, and it doesn't really. And to my nose and my way of thinking, it's sweeter than the regular Jack Daniels. We're going to pour just some of this and see the difference, because oh, heck with it. We'll get out of the yard later. Now, when you compare it to the Jack, you get a lot of that same acetone flavors, smells that I get with that, but they're dialed down. That's much more sweeter. It's much more balanced. That's a good word for that. That's much more balanced than with the regular Jack. But on the palate, surprisingly sort of similar, with less banana on this one. Much less banana, more of the vanilla and red apple. Much more. But in truth, this is more drinkable. In other words, you can take a big swallow of this and it just goes down really well because of the sweetness levels in it. And the balance of the sweetness, probably, well, actually skewed. It's balanced, but it's skewed more to the sweet side. This less so than that. I'm going to give the Gentleman Jack an 83 out of 100. I got on my notes, it's a drinkable. I call it a woodworker's dram because it just reminds me of when I worked in the wood shop. Now, let's take a quick look. See if I can find it first. Yeah, that's it. Yep. Jack Daniels number 7, 40%, same thing, age unknown, medium dark amber, good thick legs, brown sugar caramel, slight burnt potpourri, and that's what I got. I got the floral side to that. This one has less of a floral side. Let's just cut to the thing. More brown sugar. And yeah, the brown sugar is more prevalent in this one than this one to me. Gave it an 83 out of 100, same as that. So, I think on the drinkability scale, even though they're slightly different flavor profiles, the drinkability scale for me is the same for them. I had to go cleanse my mouth out, get an oat cake, cracker, and get the George Dickel, because I want the George Dickel to compare to these two while we're at it, because it's the other Tennessee whiskey. I mean, there's a little smaller distillers, which I've never had. I forget the name. I think Pritchard's maybe the name of one of them. I'm unsure of. But these are the majors. Now, George Dickel makes a heck of a product. I'm not going to go into that. I've already did this review. You can go refer to that one if you want to know what I think. Let's just move forward with it. George Dickel's a little darker than those. George Dickel comes in at 45%, which these are both 40%. This is the regular one. The bottle's out in the yard still. But the George Dickel brings so much more caramel to the game. It brings more vanilla, more caramel, but it brings the spiciness to balance it out. That doesn't have. This has a little more spiciness to balance it out. But this is, I mean, it has a little more spiciness, less sweetness, but it's a little more unbalanced in the round into things. I think that's why most people mix it with Coke. The nose is better, the 5% alcohol. Let's just do this. No comparison. That extra 5% alcohol brings a richness and flavor that they can't match with 40%. It's more balanced. The spicy with the sweet. It's more flavorful than the other two. It's overall a better whiskey. I want to see what I gave it for score, because this is just off the cuff. I just wanted to give it a go real quick before I signed off on this. Yeah, if I can find it. Wow, well, here we go. I gave it an 85 out of 100. Both of these I gave 83s out of 100. Two more. Again, the nose, the caramel vanilla toffee. But I noted on this one, you get more of the nuts. You'll get more of an almond, slight cashew, brown sugar, finish sweet, slight sour apple on the finish with it. But it's a more balanced. The caramel and the vanilla balance that out. I can tell you right now, and this is going back to it, this is a different bottle than I tested before. This is the second bottle, and I'm already that far into this one. That's how much I kind of like it. You won't find me buying a fifth of Jack Daniels or Gentleman Jack. I bought one of Gentleman Jack. I bought my fifth of Jack Daniels when I was a kid. I'm a grown man now. That's long gone. It's not as heavy on the sawdust taste. It's not as heavy on the charcoal. That's just a better whiskey. But let's be fair. Nope. That'd be the regular Jack. That's almost a sin putting that in my mouth after putting that in there. It really is. Gentleman Jack you can drink, but I think if you drink too much of it, you get a headache with the sweetness. With that banana sweetness and that slight sawdust finish, that's a headache in the making. Do you side-by-sides like this, you learn a lot. You really do. This ain't blind. I don't need blind. I know the difference in these. A whole lot as a kid. Once you've had it, you'll never forget it. Had it once before. I'd had a 750 before. I drank it, but that's been a couple years ago, at least. This is a go-back to for me. That being said, I'll get off here so you guys really know kind of what I think about the two major Tennessee whiskey players. That being said, that's enough. Everybody, remember the spirit in your glass isn't running from you. Take your time, sip it, and enjoy it. You'll be better for it. And if you're so inclined, do this test. Tell me what you think. I'm interested to know. Leave it in the comments below. Your mileage may be different, and I'm sure it will be. I'm not right. I'm not wrong. It's just, it is what it is. That being said, everybody have a good day.